Hilltop castles and seaside fortresses might not be the first things you think of when you hear Albania. However, the country is home to more than 150 castles and fortresses, ranging from ancient Illyrian ruins to Venetian outposts and Ottoman citadels. Here are my 13 favorite castles, standing guard over every corner of this magnificent nation. We start with a castle appears almost suspended between earth and sky. Perched on a steep rocky hill south of Tirana, despite its relatively modest size, this Petrelë Castle played an important role in Albania's medieval defense system. The castle occupies a naturally defensive position overlooking the Erzen Valley, a strategic corridor connecting central Albania with the surrounding mountains. Although earlier fortifications likely existed on the site, much of the current structure dates to the Byzantine period and later medieval expansions. The castle gained particular importance during the 15th century when it became associated with Skanderbeg's resistance against the Ottoman Empire. Historical records indicate that the fortress formed part of the network of strongholds supporting Albanian defensive operations. According to tradition, the castle was administered by Skanderbeg's sister, Himara Castle, making it one of the few fortresses linked directly to a prominent woman of the resistance era. Petrelë Castle features a triangular layout shaped by the contours of the rocky summit. Thick stone walls and defensive towers were designed to maximize protection while taking advantage of the steep terrain. The fortress served primarily as an observation and communication post rather than a major military headquarters. Signal fires and messengers could quickly relay information between nearby strongholds. Following the Ottoman conquest, the castle gradually lost its strategic significance. Today, its remarkably preserved walls continue to dominate with panoramic views of valleys, mountains, and the distant skyline of Tirana. Few fortresses can claim to have successfully resisted one of the most powerful empires of the medieval world multiple times, and Castle of Kruja is one of them. Perched dramatically on a rocky mountain overlooking central Albania, the castle became one of the greatest symbols of resistance in European history. Rising more than 550 meters above sea level, the castle dominates the surrounding landscape and commands strategic views in every direction. The fortress dates back to at least the 5th or 6th century, although the site may have been occupied even earlier. Its most famous defender was the Albanian national hero, Gjirokastra II Skanderbeg, who transformed Kruja into the center of Albanian resistance against the Ottoman Empire. Between 1443 and 1468, the castle withstood 3 major Ottoman sieges despite overwhelming enemy forces. These victories made Castle of Kruja legendary throughout Europe and earned Skanderbeg widespread admiration among Christian rulers. The fortress served both as a military stronghold and the political headquarters of the League of Lezhë, an alliance of Albanian princes. Thick defensive walls, watchtowers, and strategically placed gates helped protect the settlement within. The rugged terrain surrounding the castle acted as a natural defense, making direct assaults extremely difficult. After Skanderbeg's death, the Ottomans finally captured the fortress in 1478 following a prolonged siege. Today, you can explore the restored walls, historic structures, and the Skanderbeg Museum located inside the castle grounds. towering above the stone city of Gjirokastra. This massive fortress is one of the largest and most impressive castles in the Balkans. Its immense size and commanding location make it visible from nearly every corner of the Drino Valley. Although the site likely contained earlier fortifications, the castle's major development began during the 12th and 13th centuries under local rulers of the Despotate of Epirus. Over time, successive Byzantine, Albanian, Ottoman, and local rulers expanded the fortress into the vast complex seen today. The castle was built primarily to control the surrounding valley and protect important routes through southern Albania. During Ottoman rule, the fortress became a major military garrison and administrative center. In the early 19th century, Ali Pasha of Ioannina further strengthened the castle as part of his ambitious regional power base. The fortress later served as a prison during the reign of King Zog and under Albania's communist government. The architecture combines medieval fortifications with Ottoman military engineering, creating a unique blend of styles. From sky-touching hilltops to now, we sail to a perfect triangle and surrounded almost entirely by the sea. Porto Palermo Castle is one of the most unusual coastal fortresses in Albania. Located on a small peninsula along the Albanian Riviera, the fortress appears to rise directly from the turquoise waters of the Ionian Sea. The castle was built in the early 19th century by Ali Pasha of Ioannina, one of the most powerful and ambitious rulers in the Balkans during the Ottoman era. According to local tradition, the fortress may have been constructed as a secure refuge for Ali Pasha and his family. Its strategic position allowed it to monitor maritime traffic and defend the nearby bay from naval threats. Unlike many medieval castles, Porto Palermo was designed during an era when artillery had transformed military architecture. The fortress features thick stone walls and compact defensive structures adapted to withstand cannon fire. Its triangular layout maximized defensive coverage while minimizing vulnerable points. Inside, a central courtyard and various military chambers supported the garrison station there. The surrounding bay provided a naturally protected harbor, making the site strategically valuable. Although the fortress never witnessed battles on the scale of Albania's larger inland castles, it played an important role in regional coastal defense. Today, Porto Palermo Castle stands as one of the best preserved examples of Ottoman military architecture on the Albanian coast. From ocean to let's move in to the waters near the entrance to Butrint Lagoon. There is Ali Pasha's castle appears more like a fortress emerging from the sea than a conventional military stronghold. The castle was built in the early 19th century by Ali Pasha of Ioannina, located near the ancient city of Butrint. The fortress occupied a strategically important position controlling access to the lagoon and nearby coastal routes. Ali Pasha commissioned the castle as part of a larger network of fortifications designed to strengthen his authority throughout Epirus and southern Albania. The fortress reflects military architecture adapted for the age of gunpowder and artillery. Thick stone walls, low defensive profiles, and strong bastions were intended to resist cannon fire. The castle's isolated location made it difficult for enemies to approach unnoticed. Historical accounts suggest that Ali Pasha used the fortress to protect commercial activities and secure maritime communications. Today, the castle remains one of the most picturesque coastal fortifications in Albania. While most medieval fortresses were abandoned following the fall of their empires or their destruction by enemy attack, this castle remains a living fortress where people still reside within its ancient walls. Overlooking the city of Berat from a rocky hill above the Osum River, the Berat Castle has been continuously inhabited for centuries. The origins of the fortress trace back to the 4th century BC, when it was first fortified by the ancient Illyrians. During the Byzantine period, Emperor Theodosius II significantly strengthened its defenses in the 5th century AD. Throughout its long history, the castle served as a military, administrative, and religious center. Its strategic position allowed it to control important trade routes crossing southern Albania. The fortress endured invasions by Bulgarians, Byzantines, Normans, and Ottomans, each leaving their mark on its architecture. Massive stone walls reinforced with numerous towers surround the hilltop settlement. Within the castle stand several Byzantine churches adorned with valuable frescoes and icons. One of the most important is the Church of the Holy Trinity, a remarkable example of medieval Albanian architecture. During the Ottoman era, residential quarters expanded inside the fortress, creating the unique living community seen today. As part of the UNESCO-listed historic city of Berat, the castle remains one of the country's most treasured cultural landmarks and offers a fascinating glimpse into over 2,000 years of continuous history. Legend says that the walls of Rozafa Castle could only stand after a woman named Rozafa was sacrificed within them. The castle rises atop a rocky hill where the Buna, Drine, and Kjir rivers converge near the city of Shkodër. This strategic location has been occupied since ancient times, with the earliest fortifications established by the Illyrians around the 4th century BC. The fortress later became a key stronghold of the powerful Illyrian kingdom ruled by King Gentius. In 168 BC, one of the most significant events in the castle's history occurred when Roman forces besieged and captured the fortress, contributing to the fall of the Illyrian kingdom. Over the centuries, Byzantines, Venetians, Serbs, and Ottomans all controlled and modified the castle. Its purpose remained consistent: to defend the vital crossroads connecting the Adriatic coast with the Balkan interior. Beyond its military significance, Rozafa Castle remains deeply connected to Albanian folklore through the famous legend of sacrifice and devotion. Few castles in Albania offer a more spectacular combination of history and scenery than Lëkurësi Castle. Standing high above the coastal city of Sarand, the fortress provides sweeping views of the Ionian Sea, nearby islands, and the mountains of southern Albania. The castle was built in 1537 by Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent, one of the most powerful rulers in Ottoman history. Its construction followed the Ottoman campaign against the nearby island of Corfu, which was controlled by the Republic of Venice. The fortress was intended to strengthen Ottoman control over the region and defend Sarand's harbor from potential naval attacks. Positioned atop a strategic hill, the castle allowed soldiers to observe both maritime and land approaches to the coast. Although the fortress never became the site of major battles comparable to larger Balkan strongholds, it played an important role in regional coastal defense. Its location made it an effective lookout point for monitoring Venetian naval movements across the Ionian Sea. Over time, military developments reduced the strategic value of the fortress, and it gradually fell into disuse. Few Albanian castles occupy a site with such deep historical roots as Lezhë Castle, a fortress whose story stretches back more than 2,000 years. Standing atop a hill overlooking the city of Lezhë and the surrounding plains. The site was originally fortified by the Illyrians, making it one of the oldest continuously used defensive locations in Albania. Throughout antiquity, the fortress became an important stronghold controlling routes between the coast and the interior Balkans. The Romans later occupied and expanded the site after conquering the region. During the Byzantine period, additional fortifications strengthened the castle's defenses. One of the most significant events associated with Lezhë occurred nearby in 1444, when Skanderbeg united Albanian princes in the historic League of Lezhë, creating a powerful alliance against Ottoman expansion. Although the meeting itself took place within the town below, the castle played an important role in protecting the region during this critical chapter of Albanian history. The fortress contains layers of construction from Illyrian, Roman, Byzantine, Venetian, and Ottoman periods. Standing proudly on a hill between Tirana and Durrës, the fortress of Preza served as a guardian over some of the most important routes in central Albania. Although smaller than many of the country's famous castles, its strategic position made it highly significant throughout the medieval period. The fortress was constructed during the 15th century, likely under the rule of the noble Albanian Topia family. Its primary purpose was to monitor trade and military movements across the fertile plains stretching toward the Adriatic coast. Its compact design reflects the military requirements of the late medieval era, when fortresses needed to withstand increasingly powerful siege weapons. The structure includes defensive walls, towers, and a central courtyard enclosed within a relatively small footprint. The watchtower remains one of the most recognizable features of the fortress today. Perched high above the sparkling waters of the Ionian Sea, Himara Castle is one of the few Albanian fortresses that evolved into a permanent hilltop settlement. Unlike many castles that were abandoned after their military importance declined, Himara remained inhabited for centuries, preserving a living connection to its past. The fortress stands on a hill overlooking the coastal town of Himara in southern Albania. Archaeological evidence suggests that the site has been occupied since ancient times, possibly dating back to the Illyrian era. Its strategic location allowed defenders to monitor maritime routes and protect the coastline from invaders approaching from the sea. Throughout history, the castle came under the control of Byzantines, Normans, Venetians, and Ottomans, each contributing to its development. The fortress walls were constructed using local stone and adapted to the contours of the rocky hill. Within the walls, narrow stone streets, churches, homes, and defensive structures formed a self-contained community. Several Byzantine churches still survive inside the castle complex, reflecting the area's long Christian heritage. During Ottoman rule, Himara gained a reputation for maintaining a degree of local autonomy despite imperial control. The fortress played a role in numerous regional uprisings and resistance movements. Today, you can walk through centuries-old alleys while enjoying panoramic views of the Ionian coastline. Hidden among the rugged mountains of southern Albania, Bej Këlcyra Castle stands as a reminder of the powerful local rulers who once controlled the strategic valleys of the region. Unlike Albania's larger royal fortresses, This castle is closely tied to the influential Këlcyra family, whose authority shaped local affairs for centuries. The fortress overlooks the Vjosa River Valley near the town of Këlcyra, one of the most important natural corridors connecting southern Albania with the interior Balkans. Its elevated position allowed defenders to monitor movement through the narrow mountain passes below. Although the exact origins of the castle remain uncertain, much of its history is associated with the Ottoman period and the rule of Ali Bey Këlcyra, a prominent local noble. The fortress served both military and administrative purposes, acting as a center of regional authority. Built primarily from locally quarried stone, the castle was designed to blend into the surrounding landscape while maintaining strong defensive capabilities. The castle also reflected the wealth and influence of the Këlcyra family. Although time has reduced parts of the structure to ruins, surviving sections reveal the careful planning behind its construction. Perched high above the Ionian coastline, Borsh Castle commands one of the most breathtaking views in Albania. From its hilltop position, the fortress overlooks the village of Borsh, the sparkling sea, and the longest beach on the Albanian Riviera. The castle occupies a site that has been strategically important since ancient times. Archaeological evidence suggests that fortifications existed here during the Byzantine period, though some historians believe earlier defensive structures may have stood on the same hill. Throughout its history, the castle witnessed the struggles between Byzantine, Norman, Venetian, and Ottoman forces seeking control of the region. Within the fortress were residential buildings, storage facilities, and military structures supporting the local population. Despite centuries of warfare and neglect, portions of the walls and towers remain visible today. Those are my favorite stone guards in Albania, but I want to hear from you. Which one was your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more explorations just like this. Until next time, happy travels!